Hi everyone. It's often said that while we can't control the external circumstances of our lives, we can control how we respond to them. As collectively we face one of the most challenging periods that any of us have ever known, this is a great time to take that teaching to heart. Yoga invites us to the place of remembrance, a place where we take back charge of our lives, of what we focus on, of where we put our attention, of how we feel, and then ultimately how we can show up in our lives and serve. So today's practice is really an opportunity to shift our attention from focusing on all the heartbreaking, challenging, difficult, potentially terrifying things that might be happening, and to really redirect it into a place of love, into a place of deep compassion and a remembrance of the infinite field of grace, which is always holding us, is always here for us. We simply need to lean back into it and let ourselves be held. Bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly, and turn your attention right to your breath. Notice what you're bringing to your mat today. And whatever is here in your heart, in your body, in your mind, simply give it space. Every inhale, become a little softer, a little more allowing. And with each out breath, let go of any distractions, anything that might be keeping you from showing up fully. Take one more big breath here. And exhale, release your chin to your chest. Slowly open your eyes, bring your hands down to your legs, lift your head back to neutral. Staying rooted through the lower half of your body, inhale, sweep your arms off to the side and up. As you exhale, drop your left hand to the side, reach up through your right fingertips, turning your gaze up towards the sky. Inhale back to center and exhale to the other side. Inhale up and exhale, release. Next in-breath, float your arms high overhead again. This time we'll take it to a twist. Drop your left hand behind you, sweeping the right arm in front. Turn your gaze over your left shoulder. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, take it to the other side. Inhale, reach high. Touch your palms overhead, then slowly lower your namaste right down in front of your heart. Let's come on to all fours. Bring your wrists right beneath your shoulders, knees under your hips. And we'll flow through some cat-cow poses. So on an in-breath, you want to lift your tailbone and the crown of your head up towards the ceiling, arching your back. As you exhale, release your head, curl and round your spine. Inhale, tailbone lifts, top of the head lifts. Exhale, curl. Last time, inhale, arch your back, lengthening as you go. And then exhale, press all the air out. Come back to a neutral spine. Walk your hands forward a little bit. Tuck your toes under and press up and back to a bent knee, downward facing dog. Feet are hip distance apart, knees as wide as your ankles. Send your weight all the way up into the pads of your fingers so the heels of your hands are light. And then really press into the floor so you can find more extension up through your hips. If it works for your body, you can begin to straighten one leg at a time. As you notice the increase in sensations. Make space for whatever arises. You can use your breath to strengthen your connection with that feeling of grace, of sweetness, even as things get a little more intense. If it works for you to straighten both legs, dropping your heels towards the floor, you can go ahead and do that. If when you do that you notice your spine rounds, then go ahead and keep your knees bent. You want to prioritize the length and extension of the torso, maintaining the integrity of the spine and your connection to your breath. From wherever you are, you're going to shift forward into a plank pose. And from plank, we'll lower knees, chest, and chin, then slide through for a low cobra. Pause for a couple breaths in your cobra. Spread all 10 toes. Lengthen your tailbone towards your heels. Roll the heads of your arm bones back. One more full breath in. And exhale, lower. Let's do that again. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, release. One more time, inhale. And exhale, press through all fours and back to downward facing dog. 3 full breaths in dog pose. Remember, you can have your knees bent or straight. The bottom of your next breath, step your right foot forward, drop your back knee to the floor. Inhale, extend your right arm towards the sky for a gentle twist. Both shoulder caps are spinning back here so the heart is really opening towards the ceiling. Another inhale. Exhale, lower. Step back to plank. And again, we'll drop knees, chest, and chin. Slide through for a low cobra. Exhale is downward facing dog. Next side, left foot comes forward. Right knee drops to the mat. Inhale, spin your left arm to the ceiling. Squeeze your shoulder blades gently together behind your heart. One more inhale. And exhale, release. Plank pose. Knees, chest, and chin kiss the floor. Inhale for cobra. Exhale, downward dog. From downward dog, walk your feet to your hands and your hands to your feet. You're going to keep your feet hip distance apart and parallel. Take a big breath in, bend your knees, and lengthen your torso. On an out breath, drape your belly and your chest over your thighs. Let your head hang heavy, and the palms of your hands will come to the floor, either right in front of your feet or on either side of your feet. Completely surrender the upper half of your body. Knees are radically bent here. And almost immediately, you might start to notice where your body is resisting intensity. This pose is specifically designed to show us where we push away what is. You have to soften, let go, and exaggerate your yes of what's happening right here, right now. Every time you breathe in, Embrace what is. Every time you breathe out, let go of anything there is for you to let go of. Keep softening. And you drop in even more. As you stay melted in this position, notice what you're focusing on. If your attention is magnetized towards the suffering, towards the hardship, towards what doesn't feel good, can you find one thing to turn towards that isn't in a moment of challenge? It might be just your earlobe. Whatever it is, focus on something other than the difficulty just for a breath or two. Notice if that shifts anything. And on your next inhale, you're going to keep your knees bent and simply lift your torso halfway up. Fingertips will lightly touch the floor in front of you. Really extend from the crown of your head to the tip of your tail. Spine is super, super long here. Knees still bent. Now extend your arms out to the side like wings. On an in breath, you're going to lift your torso, keep your knees bent, sweep your arms high overhead. Huge breaths down the front surface of your body. Feel a softening and opening in the bowl of your pelvis, widening through the soles of your feet. One more inhale here. Exhale, slowly straighten your legs. Scoop your tailbone slightly forward to open the fronts of your hips. Then gently turn your gaze upward. Open your heart. And imagine you're standing under a waterfall of light. Feel the rain of grace that is pouring down into your body, into your heart. Allow it to clear out negativity, doubt, and fear. Bringing balance to the darkness. We open more and more to grace. Last full breath in here, reach a little higher through your fingertips. As you exhale, turn your palms away from each other, press the air away, and pause without letting your fingertips touch the side of your body. Keep little tufts of air under your armpits, a soft micro bend in the knees. On an in-breath, bring your right hand to your heart, left hand to your belly. Embody the feeling of grace. Shift your weight very, very slightly backwards as if you're leaning into the arms of someone you love. And feel yourself being held. Gently draw your hands together in Anjali Mudra, palm to palm at heart center. Inhale, open your eyes, sweep your arms out to the side and all the way up. As you exhale, dive forward, Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Feel free to bend your knees here or keep them straight. On an inhale, we're going to halfway lift, lengthening crown of the head away from the tail. Then exhale, fold. And feel free to bend your knees as you fold forward. Inhale, lengthen, heart lifts, head reaches away from the hips. Exhale, melt. Inhale, this time as you halfway lift, walk your hands to the top of your mat and your feet back. So we'll come back into downward facing dog. Choose an in-breath to sweep your right leg up towards the sky. Roll open your hip, bending your top knee. Take your gaze off your left wrist. This will help to keep your shoulders squared. Inhale, re-straighten that leg, and exhale, sweep it forward between your hands. Stack your right knee above your right ankle. Inhale, rise up for Crescent Lunge. Turn your palms to face one another, shoulders stay away from the ears. Push back through your heel. Big breath in here. Exhale, palms together. Wrap your left elbow to the outside of your right knee and come into a gentle twist. Hug your outer right hip towards your left heel and lengthen the crown of your head away from your tailbone as you deepen. Exhale fully. This time we're going to inhale to come out of the twist, hands to the floor, step back plank pose. From plank, lower knees, chest and chin. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep your left leg high, bend your knee, roll open the hip. Toes are spread bright, gaze is at the right wrist now. Shoulders are squared towards the top of your mat. Inhale, straighten your leg, turn your hips to face forward and sweep your left foot up towards the top of your mat. Left knee right above left ankle. Inhale is Crescent Lunge. Full breath in here, palms to touch overhead. Exhale, twist. Draw your left hip to your right heel now. Reach through the crown of your head, last exhale. Inhale, touch the floor, step back, plank pose. Lower knees, chest and chin, slide through for Cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, take your right leg to the sky. Exhale, step it forward. Spin back heel to the mat, and on an in-breath, rise up for Warrior Two. So the right knee is over the right ankle. Left foot is either parallel with the short side of your mat, or your toes are turned slightly in the direction of your front foot. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Crown of the head stays right above your tailbone. Breathe fully. Feel the support of the floor beneath your feet and the strength of this position. No matter what you're facing in your life, can you balance out the feeling of strength, of clarity, with that soft grace of your breath? Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle pose. Drop your right elbow onto your right thigh, left arm overhead at a diagonal. Root through the outer edge of your left foot, reach through your left fingertips. Spin your belly, chest, and gaze towards the ceiling. Exhale all the breath here. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Toes turn slightly out. Fingers are spread wide. You're just going to take one big breath in here. And then exhale, come right back to your warrior two. Flowing a little more quickly now. Inhale, reverse warrior. And exhale, take hands all the way to the floor. Step to plank. Either lower knees, chest, and chin and come through Cobra, or come right down into Chaturanga Dandasana, into upward facing dog, and then down dog. Next side, inhale, left leg high. Exhale, step it forward. Root your back heel to the ground and rise up, warrior two. Same thing here, left toes point forward. Right toes are either sideways or a little bit towards the left. Soften through your neck and jaw. And find that balance of strength and softness. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle pose. So as you come into this pose, make sure you're not collapsing through your bottom shoulder. You can even press your left elbow into your thigh to create a little more space from your shoulder to your ear. Extend through your top arm a little more, spin your belly, chest, look upward. Exhale all your breath and push your left foot into the floor to rise up, 5-pointed star. Toes are turned a little outward, fingers face forward. Stay here, brighten through your hands. If it's comfortable for you to close your eyes, go ahead and do that. And turn your awareness to the magnitude of whatever you're facing right now in your life. It might be very personal and close to home. It might be something that you are aware of that's happening on a global scale. But with the increased sensitivity of your body and your feeling awareness, stand in front of whatever that challenge is in your life, and then radiate your heart energy to that. Notice any part of you that wants to curl in or collapse at the mere thought of whatever that challenge is. Come back to your breath. Inhale into your heart and exhale, shine the light of your heart into what's challenging. Again, even if it makes no sense to your rational mind, try it. Inhale into your heart. Exhales outward, bright to what difficulties you might be facing. Every breath you get a little brighter. From the front of your heart, from the back, from the sides. Shine out through the palms of your hands, through the soles of your feet, through the base of your pelvis. Next, inhale, open your eyes, draw your hands together overhead in a high namaste. As you exhale, bend your knees right over your ankles, come into goddess pose. Toes are turned slightly outward and the knees are pointed in the same direction as your toes. Roll your shoulders back. Make sure the top of your head's right above your tailbone. Then inhale, straighten your legs, reach your arms out to the side and up overhead. As you exhale, pull hands to heart. Again, inhale up. And exhale. Last time, inhale up. Pause here with your hands high overhead. Turn your feet so they're parallel. Turn your palms away from each other. Press the air away and interlace fingers behind your back. Squeeze your legs towards the center. Lift your heart to the sky as you breathe in. On an out breath, fold forward. Arms release overhead. If this feels like too much on your shoulders, you can drop your hands down to the floor. Otherwise, arms are up, a little micro bend in the elbows so you have more space to broaden across your collarbones. And on an out breath, bring your hands to the floor if they're not already there. Inhale, halfway rise. Heel toe your feet together. And then kneel down. Heels come up away from the floor. We're gonna curl into a tight little ball. So you wanna drop your chin or your nose or your forehead towards your knees. And really soften and surrender through the back surface of your body. Rather than forcing anything, it's almost more like a letting go. Gently lift your head, walk your hands back behind you, and come back into a seated position. One hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Take a few breaths here and let the swirls of energy settle. Make space for whatever thoughts, emotions, sensations you might be feeling. And again, practice holding whatever arises in a field of grace. Gently open your eyes, release your hands, and we'll extend the right leg out straight, pulling the left leg in. You might want to sit up on a blanket here to elevate your hips so that you don't have any roundedness through your low back. We want to keep the natural curvature of the spine. Hands can be used back behind like a little kickstand to help you find length and extension. Turn your torso in the direction of your right leg. Toes point straight up towards the ceiling. Gently squeeze the muscles of your leg onto the bones. And then either stay right here or begin to walk your hands forward. Keep the heads of your arm bones rolled back, almost more like you're trying to touch your heart to your toes than your forehead to your knee. We'll stay here for 5 full breaths. On an inhale, rise up. We'll switch right to the other side. Left leg comes forward, right draws in. Using your hands again to first find length. Make sure your left toes point straight up. Sweetly squeeze your thigh muscles onto the bone. And then your choice, either stay right here or take it forward if you need to go a little further to find your edge. Wherever you end up, practice being content with what is and just shift where you put your attention. Three more breaths here. inhale, rise back up to center. And we'll take both legs out to the side for a seated straddle. You may want to sit up on a blanket again. Toes are pointed straight up towards the sky. Roll your shoulders back, lengthen. And if you'd like, walk your hands forward. One of the reasons we continually bring our attention back to our breath in our asana practice is because the breath is considered to be the bridge between the infinite and the finite world. So as we endeavor to live with more grace, more of a remembrance of the bigger picture, our breath can really be a portal into that remembering. Stay here for 5 more full cycles of breath and really, really notice where you're putting your attention. On an inhale, slowly rise up. Draw your legs together. We'll come into laying on our backs. Knees bent, soles of the feet are on the floor. Just rest your arms down by your side. Make sure your feet are hip distance apart and parallel. And we'll do a bridge pose. So on an inhale, you're going to draw your shoulders up towards your ears, lengthening the side of your torso. As you exhale, roll the heads of the arm bones under, and then next in-breath, the hips float to the sky. Interlace your fingers behind your back and walk your shoulders towards each other. Lift your chin away from your chest to keep a nice curve in your cervical spine, and a slight downward press of the big toe mounds will help you take your hips even higher. Heart presses towards the wall behind your head. Knees are lengthening in the opposite direction. One more big breath in here. Lift a little higher. And then exhale, slowly release. Widen your feet slightly wider than your hips. Palms face upward. Let everything go. And slowly bring the soles of your feet together. One hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Effort melting into non-doing. Often we think we have to work harder to get what we want. And in this case, it's actually about doing less. Softening the habits of trying, of pushing, of resisting or pulling towards, and letting go into what is. Simply pivoting our attention towards light. Slowly, sweetly draw your legs back together. Going to pull your knees up towards your shoulders and drop your tailbone back towards the floor. So it's like you're doing a little back bend here. Knees pull in, but the tailbone drops. Find a little release through your low back. Shoulders roll down towards the floor. And then bring your knees right above your hips, shins parallel to the floor. We'll take the arms into a cactus pose. On an out breath, draw your navel to your spine and engage through your core. Very slowly lower your knees off to the left as you turn your gaze to the right. We'll hover the legs a few inches from the floor. The inhale takes them back to center. And the exhale to the opposite side. Remember to keep your core strong as you do this. Come on back to middle. One more time each side. And then when you're in center, pull your knees right into your chest. Hug your legs in. Even try to touch your nose to your knees. Last big inhale. Exhale, stretch out for final Shavasana. Palms turn to face upward. Let everything go. Feel the weightiness of the bones of your body falling down towards the center of the earth. The muscles soften. Your eyes fall way back into their sockets. Allow your tongue to grow wide inside your mouth. And as your body gets heavier and heavier and relaxes more and more deeply, allow your awareness to become lighter, more free. All thoughts, emotions, and sensations melt back into emptiness. As relaxed as you already are, can you let go even more? If your schedule allows, feel free to stay in Shavasana for 5, 10, even 15 more minutes. When you're ready to come out, you'll deepen your breath, wiggle fingers and toes, circle ankles and wrists, stretch through your arms and legs in any way that feels good. And then roll on to one side. Pause for several breaths on your side. And eventually press up to sitting. Closing out our practice by bringing hands to Anjali Mudra. Remembering that no matter what challenges we have to face in our lifetime, we have a choice in how we show up for them. When we stay connected to our breath and to our hearts, we can meet whatever arises with a little more grace, a little more presence, and an incredible amount of love. Slowly drop your head into your heart. Thank you so much for practicing. Namaste.